do you appreciate and actualize the full potential of your country? You can't.
Well, we're campaigning for our 35% or 40%. We have been doing this for many years now, and then we're not where we're supposed to be yet. All over the world, women are screaming to be heard. Women want to be in charge of certain positions, but we're not allowed to do so. Whenever you come out with men to compete, somehow you're always left behind, or they frustrate you, they bully you, they threaten you. I just finished an election in Ekiti, a governorship election. We were 9 women, and end of the day, I was the only woman that contested against 6 men, and they only gave me 1 vote. I'm not upset about the 1 vote, but at least I started and I crossed the finish line. So more women need to come out. We need to come out. We need to keep pushing forward until we get to the destination where we want to be.
What we are requesting for is that, number 1, affirmative action. At least 35% of representation in the House of Assembly, in the Senate, in the House of Rep, even in the Executive Council must be given to women. There are so many women in Nigeria who are capable and able to represent the women interests. Look at Okonjo Iweala. She's a woman. There are so many women in Nigeria who can fill in that position, even if only Nigerians or those who are there will look out for them.
As part of activities to mark this year's International Women's Day, some women in Edo State have asked for an urgent review of the gender-related bills. These bills were recently rejected by the National Assembly. They describe such a move as a dehumanization of Nigerian women and vow to continue to push until the demand is met. Some people believe women didn't do enough in pushing for the actualization of the 35 affirmative action.
2019 Presidential and National Assembly elections to the Senate and House of Representatives, out of the 912 million eligible voters, the turnout was over 67%, which was the highest turnout ever recorded, with higher participation of women than men.
Women are number 1. Now, woman, I born governor, I born president, I born Oba. So they're not supposed to reject women. You understand me? Women are number 1 from anywhere, any nation. Now, woman. So women they use and they press us down.
If you even look at the House, the National Assembly, you will discover that there's no equality. The House is majorly filled up with men. And I believe that most of these men don't even believe in the women.
Actually, I must say that the Nigerian women are not ready for political office in this country. I believe as we mark this International Women's Day, this should be a clarion call for all Nigerian women to sit up. Just imagine when all this blame, accusation and counter-accusation against the National Assembly that the women were being marginalized, that they were being discriminated, that they are being relegated, to me, it's uncalled for. The day that they are supposed to mobilize themselves to the National Assembly for them to ensure that this 35% affirmative action, rights action declaration for women is being approved. That day, the whole wives of the president, of the governors, 36 states of Nigeria, and some critical women stakeholders, they took a chartered flight to Dubai.
Speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, Right Honorable Yushawu Azizat, says the core mandate of the newly inaugurated parliament will be centered on 3 core areas. These are youth development, inclusion, and gender equality. Honorable Azizat says youth in the country should not only be tagged for bad news, as a sizable number of youth today are building global solutions for the development of Nigeria.
This generation of vibrant youth, with more than 50% of the population, will forge ahead to participate effectively in governance. We will be showing our worth in the time to come. As part of our commitment, before the close of the PVC registration, the NYP will be consolidating the efforts of stakeholders and youth platform to get more young people to register and vote in the next election.
Honorable Azizat also commended the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the President for the proactive move to evacuate stranded students and Nigerians trapped in Ukraine following the invasion of the country by Russia.
We equally commend the federal government under the leadership of President Muhammad Buhari for acting swiftly to our call for the evacuations of Nigerians in Ukraine and Russia. We equally commend the National Assembly, especially the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, for the passage of the electoral bill, particularly the assent to independent candidacy.
The House of Representatives has rescinded its earlier decision on 3 of the gender bills it voted against. That was during the consideration of 68 recommendations during the Constitution Amendment last week. The Speaker was making the announcement, said the decision by the House was to give the women a sense of belonging. This is especially coming at this time when the world is celebrating the International Women's Day. Emmanuel Ehijene completes the report.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, made the announcement on the floor at plenary. This was after the House had held a brief executive session before the start of the day's legislative business. The Speaker said the House decision was born out of a quest for equity and for the good of the nation.
There are issues arising therefrom, and the House, in its wisdom, has decided to take a course of action for the good of the country. And that action is to rescind 3 of the decisions that were taken on that day, and after the rescission, release them on the next set of amendments coming up. I believe, Deputy Speaker, in the next 4 weeks, within the next 4 weeks, they will come up again for voting.
You recall that on the 1st of March, the House voted for 68 items in respect of a constitutional amendment. However, the aforementioned 3 bills could not step through because you could not obtain the 2/3 majority to pass the bills.
Federal lawmakers in the House of Representatives reacted positively to the decision to rescind on their earlier decision.
The women lobbied, and they lobbied very, 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 very well. I think they did a good job. I will not throw them under the bus and say they didn't lobby enough. They did a very, very, very good job. But again, like we said, culture and religion, they're as old as civilization. They are hard to kill, they are hard to bury, they are hard to forget. But we've done a good job today. Everybody came, everybody expressed their opinion, and we all came to a common ground that no, we have to do this.
Though the fight for women inclusion has been on for over 20 years, since 1999. But for the past 1 week, the tempo has been higher than it was. And it is justifiably so. I say so because it's a moment in time for Nigeria to adjust her legal framework towards becoming better than we met it. And to achieve that, it must be holistic. Holistic in the sense that the hunger, the desire, the passion of every citizen of this country must be incorporated.
The National Assembly rejected 3 gender equality bills last week during constitution consideration of 68 bills, a decision which women groups across the country have rejected in all its entirety.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan has said that the ruling by the Federal High Court in Abuja won't stop the National Assembly from amending the Electoral Act. The court delivered a ruling on Monday by Inyang Eko on an ex parte application by the PDP. It barred President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Senate President from tampering with the newly amended Electoral Act 2022. The court maintained that the Electoral Act, having become a valid law, could not be altered without following the due process of law. President Buhari, in a letter dated 28th of February 2022, requested the National Assembly to amend the Electoral Act. He drew the attention of the chamber to the provisions of Section 84, subsection 12, which, according to him, constitutes a defect that's in conflict with extant constitutional provisions.
Judge Inyang Eko, in a ruling on an ex parte application by the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, said the Electoral Act, having become valid law, could not be altered without following the due process of law. Specifically, the court restrained President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General of the Federation, and of course the National Assembly in the suit from removing Section 84, subsection 12 of the Act.
Cannot stop us from making laws. The problem with the letter the president sent was that there was a part of it that interpreted the law. And I think that is the only part that the court can act on, because he said that the law we made is ultraviolate the Constitution, which is not his responsibility. And I think to that extent, the court can comment on that one, but not on the fact that we're making law.
I think the argument you have raised is valid, but this one will present in court to discharge that order. We cannot sit and appeal here on a matter that's already been given an order in court. So I think that we should exercise caution in sitting the judgment over a matter that a decision has been given, or at least an order has been given. What we need to do is to brief our lawyers to go and discharge the order, instead of sitting here and then we say that we are disobeying court order. It's not good for us, it's not good for our system. That is calling for anarchy.
Go into the exclusive preserve of the other. If the judiciary wants to come into the legislature and decide when we sit and when we don't, then there's anarchy. If the judiciary will simply say we are not to consider this and that, and we obey those kind of rulings, that's anarchy. Because it's emasculating the legislature, and that's not supposed to be. So we will continue with what we are supposed to do, because that is our calling. We are just advising that the judiciary should please help us develop this democracy, because this arm of government is the least developed. Judge Inyang Eko.
A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Ebonyi State Governor, Dave Umahi, and his deputy, Eric Igwe, to vacate their seats. This is on the grounds that the PDP won the election on March 2019 and not its candidate. Having defected to the APC, Governor Umahi and his deputy cannot transfer the mandate of the PDP to the APC. Citing Section 221 of the Constitution, Justice Inyang Eko ordered the PDP to immediately send names of replacements to INEC so that fresh elections can be conducted. Justice Eko also ordered INEC to cease from recognizing Umahi and Igwe as the governor and deputy governor of Ebonyi State. Meanwhile, the Ebonyi governor, Dave Umahi, has defied his sack by High Court judgment, vowing he remains governor. He urged the people of the state to remain calm, as he was sure of quashing the ruling at the appeal court. The governor described the Justice Inyang Eko judgment as a jungle justice. He said he had forwarded a petition against the judge to the Nigerian Judicial Council. The PDP has informed INEC to declare its candidates, Induma Igarue, as the new governor of Ebonyi State and Fred Odogu as his deputy. The party made a submission at a press conference on Tuesday evening following the judgment by a federal high court in Abuja. The court had sacked Governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, and his deputy, Dr. Eric Igwe, for defecting from the PDP to the All Progressive Congress. A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday sacked the Speaker of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly. Defected to the APC should vacate their seats. The judge held that all salaries and allowances paid to the lawmakers from the period of their defection to the present should be forfeited to the government coffers. Well, the crisis rocking the APC has claimed another top member of the APC Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, CECPC. This is following the sack of John James Akpanu-Dedehe, Secretary of the CPC. His forced exit also gave more insight into what happened to Governor Mai Mala Buni, who was replaced on Monday by Governor of Niger State, Abubakar Sani Bello. Staff of the party disclosed that Senator Akpanu-Dedehe has already packed his personal belongings while his aides wore gloomy faces. The crisis results at the end of the factional primaries indicated that Babayemi polled 1,781 votes to beat other aspirants. Also, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured that justice will be served in the death of Oluwabamiche Ayewonwale. Sanwo-Olu gave the assurance on Tuesday, saying that the life of every resident of the state mattered and will not be taken for granted. He vowed that his administration would leave no stone unturned in the investigations and arrest of everyone found culpable in the kidnap and death of Ayewonwale.
Offer condolences to the family of citizen Oluwabamiche. It's so unfortunate. It's really, really so unfortunate. And I've seen several, narratives, several write-ups about it. Some people being very extremely sensational, right? I mean, posting and saying that the Lagos State government want to cover something, and even my person, want to cover something. I think, people trivialize life and make it, look at everything has to be that they want to score a 2 points. And I think the message really should go to people like that there was no mind, that there was no consequence, and our government will certainly not be deterred with such narrative. What we're about is to ensure that we transparently get to the root of it. And that's why the police, and the Department of State Security were able to immediately, pick the person. It was not in Lagos. It was in another state that had to pick, the individual. And I'm sure that, the Nigerian police have the competence to be able to get us, to the final conclusion.
International Women's Day is a day set aside annually to celebrate the cultural, political, and socio-economic achievements of women. Plus TV News went around town to get reactions of Nigerians to the bias surrounding women. That's on Street Views.
What a man can do better. And in this society that we are now, everybody has their own rights to do what they want. Like, it's good for everybody to have their own right. Like, if you feel like going to school to have your own certificates is okay by you. Like, it's not by force that somebody should tell you you don't have any right to go to school.
All these days, International Women's Day, International Father's Day, International whatever day, how does it reflect into our life in Nigeria? There can never be equality anywhere, not even in Africa, not even in the Western world. But however, having said that, we appreciate our mothers, our sisters. Gender equality in political representative in Nigeria, forget it. Don't forget it.
I feel like they're supposed to be the same as men, because nowadays, because of the way our great-grandfather did and said that they're supposed to be in the kitchen, and because of that, some people, they didn't even send their women to school. Even me, because I'm here, is because of what my dad did. It's women's right. They have right to say they want to go to school. Because me, I didn't go to school because my dad said I'm a lady, that I can't do anything. The only thing that they have to do is for me to get married and go to my husband's house, because they think that it's only the men that are useful. So I don't feel that way. I feel we are equal.
As a woman, I think a woman should go as far as she can, especially in a country where it doesn't give her the space. There's a saying that says that if you train a girl child, you train a nation. So that shows that a lot can be done when we train a girl child. A lot can be achieved when women go further in life. And we can see it in the case of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We can see it in the case of Chimamanda Adichie. We can see it in the case of our sister Oshoala. So we can see that there are great potentials in women, and if we can help them maximize it, we just need a country that can encourage them.
Still ahead, Uganda's president's son announces army retirement. Details when we return.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
Do you know any female between the ages of 18 to 25 who is currently unemployed or an undergraduate who is passionate about technology? Africa Agility is empowering young females between the ages of 18 to 25 with tech skills ranging from
product management,
web development, artificial intelligence, data science, digital marketing, machine learning, blockchain technology, agile, networking, and cybersecurity through partnership with Cisco. Here is your chance to learn these tech skills for free. We offer a variety of instructor-led and self-paced programs, both physical and virtual. To be a part of our programs, join our community using the details on your screen. Africa Agility is slowly reducing the poverty rate in Africa, one girl at a time. To sponsor a female or to donate to this cause, visit donate.africaagility.org. Thank you.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's
Africa. A group of Tanzanian students fleeing the conflict in Ukraine have arrived in Russia. The students were studying at said he had achieved a great deal. He has been rumored to be a possible successor to his father, who has been in power since 1986. The Libyan Transitional Council of Ministers has suspended the implementation of an agreement with the United Nations on gender equality. The decision was taken on the eve of International Women's Rights Day at a government meeting last Sunday. According to the official statement, the suspension was taken as a precaution in view of the conflict of some of its articles with the provisions of Islamic Sharia law. However, the Minister of State for Women Affairs, Horia Tomal, made it clear last October when the agreement was signed that national law takes precedence in the event of a contradiction. After 2 years, that has not reciprocated the gesture and is keeping the border with Rwanda closed. And moving outside of Africa. Meanwhile, Lieutenant General Kane Rugaba said he had achieved a great deal during his army career. The son of the Ugandan President, Yoweri Museveni. Well, we've taken the story. We do apologize for that slight mix-up. Britain will phase out imports of Russian oil and oil products by the end of 2022. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said this on Tuesday, joining other nations, including the United States, in reducing their energy dependency on Russia. In the same vein, President Joe Biden of America means the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine.
And I believe in the country. Americans have rallied to
$1 a barrel.